Welcome back, guys. I'm Ariel Biller, evangelist for ClearML, and in this Clear show, we're going to talk about the new poster child of MLOps tools. I'm really excited. You know why? Because of this image. You've probably seen this in my videos, other people's talks. If you've been in an MLOps tooling conference or something like that, you've seen it multiple times. This is an image from the famous article, Hidden Technical Depth in Machine Learning Systems from NeurIPS 2015 by Sculley et al. And it says one thing. If you've put some machine learning code in production, you gotta push a lot of envelope code around it. Basically, it's not an instruction manual, okay? It's a model of what should be done based on an experience in a single company. It's Google, right? But it just turned into something like a blueprint, and we don't like that, okay? The avid reader, Mateus, also found that it's really overused, which we've also been suspecting. But it's time to put an end for that, and I'm now declaring that I am using this image for the last time. What am I going to use instead? Well, luckily, I have this. And what is this? It's the purpose of this video to talk about. It's a stack or a schematic of one designed by many people in the AI Infrastructure Alliance. So basically, we're substituting buzzwords by other buzzwords. But instead of being, let's say, a model of what to do, this is an actual schematic. And if you want to read about it, it's in this release by Dan Jeffries, our benevolent dictator. And I really recommend it because he has a lot of good things to say. But mostly, the most important part of this is that, this is not just a snapshot of some think tank. It's coming from many companies who are competing in this MLOps pool. And if they and us, we're here as well, can agree about the need for those rungs in the stack, maybe there's actually an inkling of truth in this. So pay close attention of what's going on and what's coming on from this front. So if you want to maybe relate this image to the previous image, which we are now discarding, you need to understand where the machine learning code is. And here the machine learning code is everywhere, right? You need to have machine learning code while you're experimenting, and then when you're training, and then when you're serving, or when you're working with notebooks, right? So it's actually a non-centralistic kind of view, which I really like. Actually, if you're into stacks, this might look useful for you. What you should do is you should just take a coloring book pen approach to this and just ink in whether you're using an in-house solution or a store-bought one or an open source one, which is also bought, and I have a talk about this. For example, in this paper that I mentioned, they have a serving suggestion. If you take Pachyderm, Algorithmia, ClearML, Tecton, and Findler, you can build a pretty good stack. The only stuff you have to build on your own is in these portions. But yeah, again, I'm not talking about the details. I'm talking about the fact that there is something like this which is useful. It's not just blocks on a poster. But also I want to remind you guys that MLOps is not the tools that you're using. You need these tools to do MLOps, but it's more than that. It's about the process. And actually, the same release also discusses this, right? If you've seen any of my talks, you've seen this pipeline, which I took from NVIDIA because it's vendor agnostic, where the data comes into some kind of automated process, and then you have pre-production when you have a go, no-go point, and then you deploy, and you have a closed circle where you can decide if you're retraining or not. And mostly when I discuss this, I say, well, this is an end product of development. There is no R&D in here. It's one pipeline per project. And that's why I don't like it. The reason I didn't like it was that research was missing. And there are other pipelines where data is missing. There's always something missing. But if you try to draw everything, because research is so nonlinear and so repetitive and circular, you'll end up with something like this. And this is a slide that I've been using for almost a year now. But now, we have this process, again from the AI infrastructure, we call it AYA. This is the same pipeline, but inclusive of the data, the R&D, and the deployment. And there are these kind of back and forth errors telling you that this is not really a linear process. So it's imaginary time axis here, but it really is much more complex. And again, there's a lot to be said about the equivalence of the two images. Again, as I said in the beginning, this is a work in progress. I'm really looking forward to see what else comes out of this, and I think you should do. Also, this image, right? This and make if you're in this tooling space, if you're making presentations, make a conscious decision to put this one instead of the earlier one, which we will not talk about anymore. I hope this was really useful for you, because it's useful for me. And let me know what you think about it in the comments below, or email, or Slack, or Reddit. You know where I am. Bye-bye.